It's Caribbean E and Tina.
Hello.
Welcome to the channel. Today we want to talk about a subject that's been running through our society and culture for so many years. And it's called people pleasing.
Yes.
People pleasing. From your family, from the people you work with, from the people at the church that you go to, in your neighborhood,
Friends,
with the club,
everybody.
friends, everybody. In-laws, outlaws, cousins, nephews, people pleasers.
Yeah. I think we all have, though, that innate feeling of being wanted and being accepted and wanting people to like us. So we tend to say yes to a lot of things that we should say no to. And that when it comes, especially like, and I know you can talk about this, family.
Family.
There, just because it's blood doesn't mean that it's healthy or that it's right.
Right.
And sometimes there's toxic relationships that people hold on to where they should have cut ties a long time ago. And they should have said no.
And you know, there's an old saying, blood is thicker than water. And families, they're saying. But sometimes, and for the most part, that's not the case. Because there's some family members out there right now, even the ones that's following this channel, that your family members hate you. They're jealous of you, they despise you, they despise your living standards, they despise your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you having success, they despise the job, your income, your house, your car, your clothes. They despise it because jealousy is crude to the grave.
What it is.
It's jealousy.
Yes.
It's hidden jealousy, and it's terrible.
I think that people should be there for you in the good and in the bad. So if somebody's just there judging from sidelines when you're doing bad, but aren't clapping when you're doing good, that's what you need to pay attention to.
That's what you need to pay attention to. And it's those small signs.
Yeah.
Because I would consider the black sheep of my family.
Yeah. And you did the most.
And I did the most.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes the people that you do the most for are the ones that really don't respect you.
I can attest to that.
And don't appreciate you, the things that you've done.
Yep.
Some of these people, I took them into my home, I took them off the streets. Now I can't get a phone call, I can't even get a letter, I can't even get a text. Because some of these people, you give them too much. You give them too much of yourself, your mind, your spirit, and at the end of the day, you're going to be the one sitting on the side of the bench saying, where did I go wrong?
Yeah. And like I said, there's literally never a price to your peace.
Right.
Like who can put a price to how peaceful you feel, or, you know, like that's what I always said. I was like, I tell the kids all the time, I'm like, I gave away my peace and my happiness for way too many years. I just gave it away.
Yep.
I let others take it. I let others abuse it. And I thought I was doing it for the greater good, to be the better daughter, the better sister, the better friend, the better mother, the better whatever. And in the end, I look back and say, wife, I'm like, what was I doing? Like, in the end, did it make me a better person? No. It literally stole and robbed me of years and time and health and problems and money, when I could have just said no and stopped people pleasing.
Right. And I know a lot of times dealing with families, we want to do the best by them.
Yeah.
It makes us feel good, but some of the most times in my life, I feel like I almost lost my mind by trying to please people in my family. And at the end of the day, it was still not good enough. Whether you give them money, whether you spend time with them, whether you take them places, whether you help them to get a house, a car, or whatever it may be, it's still not good enough for some people.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. And I mean, like I said, a lot of people, you got a whole family line, a whole history. Even some of the people you work with, they're haters, okay? But my haters are my motivators.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me moving in the right direction. Because that's telling me, hey, I'm doing something right, because there's friction here.
Right.
There's people and sometimes you got to walk the path alone. Don't be afraid to walk the lonely, beaten path by yourself. Because sometimes that's where your blessing and that's where your success is, if you just separate yourself from the foolishness. Because you know what? I can do bad by myself.
You got that right.
So there's some people that I had to separate. I'm a lot happier now. I got more peace now. And I hate to say this, but it's been mostly family. Because sometimes the devil will attack you what's close to you, which is your family, your cousins, your nieces, your nephews, your brothers, your sisters, father, and even mothers.
Right. But never be afraid, because I will say this, for everything that's been removed or that we've gotten rid of, well, that is removed, out of our life that was toxic, I'll tell you this, we've been blessed beyond measure. And we've been given other people that have really stepped in, because you say family, but then you were blessed and I was blessed with other children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That our children, and then we adopted a child. So I feel like God replaced what he knew our hearts needed.
Right.
And with family members that maybe didn't work out, and we had to distance ourselves from, he blessed us with really great friends.
Right. Great friends.
We're talking like
family.
lifetime friends. I have friends. You want to know how a person is? See how long their relationships last.
Right.
Because I have friends that I've been friends with since from life, like 5 years old, 4 years old, like, and they're still my girls. Like they'll never, ever go apart from me. And we've had to distance ourselves even here from foolishness.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to always carry your mind.
Yeah.
You have to make adjustments. You have to weigh some things in the balance, and you got to check out your circle and make sure that everybody in your circle got your best interest.
Yes.
But
And
there's
you
some
should
people
have
in your
theirs.
circle that ain't really in your circle, because Jesus had a lot of people in his cabinet too, but he had some backstabbers and he had some perpetrators too, and the fakeness was even on his table with him. So
They did it to him. Who are you?
yeah,
Exactly.
and listen, they hate on Jesus, they're gonna hate on me too.
Yeah.
Who am I? You know what I'm saying? We all gotta suffer, we all gotta go through, but you know what? When you make that move from these toxic, crazy, drama-filled people, you feel better in your health, blood pressure goes down, you can sit back, you can breathe, you can enjoy your life, because you're not around all that foolishness.
Right. I mean, when we were first going to move out here, we had people who were like, whoa, you guys done gone crazy. You're going to move to the Dominican Republic? No. Right? And
Absolutely.
we had a lot of doubt. But the thing is those are the same people who still stood by us.
Right.
And still came to say goodbye,
Right.
was sad that we were leaving, and was like, but this is not goodbye forever.
Right.
We know we can come visit you. Some of you guys did. Tiffany, yay, Michael.
Thank you.
Roxanne, you guys all
Don.
have come, and we've seen you again, and there's some friendships that will never ever break.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of, like I said, who is in the back looking and cheering when they're supposed to be cheering, and holding you up when you need to be helped.
Right.
You know.
And you also gotta remember that everybody's not going down the same direction that you
We're all
are.
different.
And it's all right. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be not okay, and it's okay to be the Lone Ranger sometimes.
Yeah.
You ain't the only one, but there's other people out there that we befriended. And I tell you, I've got so many cool brothers and sisters, even for the channel, that I met that's actually closer to me than my own flesh and blood.
Yeah. Sad, but
And even my family, my new family that I've embraced, they call me for all my birthdays and holidays. I always hear from them. I can tell they're speaking from a genuine heart. It's a lot of love. It's a difference between a person that's fake and a person that's genuine. It's a big difference.
yeah. And sometimes it takes you to have that heartbreak, because I've been with you when I first we were just dating, and then when we were first married, that there was Christmases and Father's Days where you would put on a happy smile, and then at the night you were crying in the room, and now you were heartbroken because your family and your kids and nobody called, and then you were like, the only phone calls, the only texts I got was, our kids, my kids.
Right, absolutely.
I hate to say, I don't want to say mine because they're ours, but my kids. And then when Noah came into our lives, add him on. So now it's these 3 kids that you didn't birth, and you were like, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? What's wrong? You guys are not alone. This happens to everyone. We've had a lot of people reach out, sad stories, happy stories. viewers that tell us, what do you do? How do you get on? What do I, first of all, don't ever take for granted your peace.
Right.
Because you need to be centered before you can be a good friend or a good family member or a good anything to anybody. You need to have your peace. You need to have your own tranquility. You need to watch who you keep in your circle, who's in your ear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And look, because people will show you better than they can tell you. I'll tell you that. Because a lot of people say one thing and do another. And that is literally my pet peeve. Like, I cannot stand that. Like, I need you to be consistent.
Right.
I need you to be about it.
And not wishy-washy.
Yes.
Yeah,
I need you to do what you say and say what you do. So, consistency in your life, not just with yourself, because you should be with yourself, but watch others, because a person will show you.
Yeah, they'll show you better than
we choose to ignore it.
And we choose to ignore it. We choose to put blinders on like a horse. Okay, because when a horse is running on a racetrack, they don't put to see what's to the left or right. They got blinders on these horses. They just want them to see straight.
Yes.
Okay, so it's sad that we have to say this, but in my life, and I thank God for my new family, but in my past life, it seemed like they was more detrimental to me than my worst enemies. And I really hate to say it like that, but they really were. Right now, we don't communicate, we don't call, we don't talk. It's just I just love my new family because we're able to communicate, we're able to talk. And sometimes, you know what? You got to do what you got to do. To have a good life, you got to take care of yourself. And I'm tell you something, there's nothing no worse than somebody trying to steal your peace.
Yeah.
Because once your peace is gone, you lose who you are, and before you know it, you got all this chaos in your life. And a lot of us spend our whole life trying to please people. And at the end of the day, we end up with nothing.
Yeah.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
It's like a car. If you run your car and the engine at some point is going to be empty.
Right.
And there's nobody there to help fill that tank.
Right.
You are on empty, pushing yourself up a hill.
Right.
And ain't nobody helping you.
And people just steady driving by, seeing that there's a need.
Yeah.
Just driving by. Like, people rather give to foolishness than give to people that really can use those funds. I don't get it. It's just the darndest thing. I'll never understand how you waste all your resources on foolishness, okay? And some of us have given our last dime to people and we didn't want it back. And when you go and you have a need, you can't find that person. There's no way around. Or some people say, let me hold something. Okay, I'll let you hold $500. Okay, now, almost 500 years went by and I still ain't got that $500 back.
Well, they say you're not supposed to give. Remember that. You're not supposed to give with the thing with the preface that you're going to get it back. You give from the heart. But that's the thing. When you give from the heart, it's human nature that you expect to receive from the heart also. And it's sad when people don't give back. And I'm not talking monetarily. I'm talking like love and respect. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how I feel like. So you're saying that in your family, but in my family and in my life and my being, I feel like I gave so much of myself. I'm a very giving person, and I tried to always make sure people were safe and people were taken care of, and that I tried to do everything that I could to make sure everyone else was so good, that I wasn't good.
That you wasn't good.
Yeah. And then I look back like I literally was killing myself to make sure that the people in my life were all good.
Right.
But then they say, and I'll put it out there, that's how people that have been abused are. And I was physically abused. So to make sure that shit just never happened, I went above and beyond, but then the people I was protecting never ever made sure I was good.
Right.
So that's that's a hurtful thing. That's I'm telling you, I'm trying not to cry, but that literally will tear you down to your soul, because you think I did so much for people that I truly would have given the shirt off my back, my last breath, I loved so much, and they don't got it for you.
Right.
But I had blinders, and I couldn't see past the foolishness, and I couldn't see past the trying to please the people that I loved so much, and I held on so hard. I tell you all the time, I'm like, my first husband, I was so busy holding on such a tight grip that it literally took God to rip it out of my hands to show me that that's not where he needed me to be, and that wasn't love.
Right.
And that's why I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Because you never ever put me through that. You never ever made me work so hard. You gave me love and appreciation. And when people aren't giving you love and appreciation, it's time to sit back and look at it and say, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah. And the sooner you do that, the better.
Yeah.
Because the longer you stay in an abusive, toxic relationship, it just makes your future more dim and not bright at all.
Right.
And toxic people, I'm telling you, they know their game. They play psychological games.
Oh, they know, yeah. They know how to get
They
to
know
you.
how to your triggers, your pointers. It's just those people. Them are some of the most dangerous people.
They're called sociopaths.
Ever meet.
Yes.
The
That's
most
a sociopath.
dangerous people that you never meet.
You can tell a psychopath. Here's the thing. You can tell a crazy person.
Right.
That's a psychopath. You can tell a crazy person a mile away. You're like, ooh, that person's crazy. But a sociopath can blend right in.
Yeah.
And make you believe everything. And then the next thing you know, you're like, I drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
I had a big old cup of it. It was great. I was drinking that Kool-Aid. I was going to refilling my cup every day.
And what also gets me, Tina, is like, if one toxic person don't like you, that toxic person will tell somebody else not to like you too.
Yes.
And they just spread that word, and that toxin just goes on until everybody just got this horrible illusion of you as a person because they heard one person spread that lie. And then all these other kind of lies start circulating. And before you know it, you're the bad guy when you haven't done anything wrong.
Well, and that's also because then when they know the gig is up and they've been found, they don't want anyone else to know. They want everybody else to still keep walking up to the fountain and get the Kool-Aid. If you're standing in their way of passing out the Kool-Aid, they got to discredit you to make sure that people are still getting that Kool-Aid. You know, and then that's when deflection happens. It's like, oh, consider the source, or oh, look at them and look at this and look at that. And it's like, no, don't deflect. Don't look at anything. Look at what's happening right here, because this is where it's at.
Right.
The problem is between you and me. The issue is between you and me. Don't deflect. Don't try to do none of that. That person over there and that person over here, or those viewers, that has nothing to do with what you and I are talking about. Because I'm good for, listen, I know we're on a social platform. You put yourself out there. You wanted to have a legacy and share your life. But I will tell you this, if you come for mine, I'm coming for you. So when you want to sit there and try to read somebody, best believe I will read with the best, and I will read you up and down like a book and put you on my shelf right back over here when I'm done with you. Don't come for me and mine.
And I love you too, baby. But you guys are the guardian of your own peace. You are the guardian of it. You got the lock and key. You hold the keys to your own success.
Yes.
Because that's what God gave you the power to do. You have it within you. Now you got to let it come forth. You are the guardian.
Yes.
If you let somebody come disturb your peace, then that's totally up to you. But you can do something about it because you got the keys to your peace. And they ain't worth your peace.
Yes.
They ain't worth it.
And that same note, that same key is your freedom.
Yeah. Your freedom too.
So you can stay locked up in a terrible relationship, a terrible situation, a toxic thing. But remember, in that same key is your freedom.
That's
so
your
sometimes
freedom.
you got to stop people pleasing and you got to use the key. Because sometimes, like they tell you in an airplane, make sure to place the mask on yourself before trying to help others.
Help somebody else.
That's all I can say about that.
You gotta save yourself, and you gotta make sure that you're good and that you're in the right place. If you're good, then everybody around you can be good, and you can help those that are defected and messed up to get good. Because a lot of people don't know how to free themselves. They don't know what peace is because they haven't had peace in so many years. They don't even know what peace looks like. And I always tell people this. You will never know a good marriage until you had a bad one.
Amen. Same thing with any type of relationship, honestly. Yeah.
Am I saying something?
Everything. You guys know, like, that ain't no lie. That's
You will never know
that's a
good friend,
yes.
a good confident friend, until you had a bad one. And the same thing go with brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, aunts, uncles, on down the line.
Yeah.
And it'll make you appreciate when you got a good woman in your life. Somebody that you can talk to. Somebody that you ain't got to be arguing with all the time. Pulling teeth, going through a lot of changes. Okay? Because life's too short. Like I said on the channel.
Amen.
Life to be enjoyed. You can't enjoy life when you're arguing all the time, going at each other's throat, and you ain't never got no peace.
Yes. I agree.
And I see these lawyers, they're making millions of dollars every year because of people going through the divorce court because there's no peace in the marriage.
That's true.
And they come from toxic people. Now, a non-toxic person, a toxic person, they can't get along too long.
No.
Because that person wants peace, but this person living in a toxic zone.
Yeah, that's like you're trying to glue something, but you're running water. It's just not gonna.
It's not gonna stick.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. That's 100% why I'm divorced. Yeah.
I'm telling you. And like I said, you never know a good marriage until you had a bad one. Because my marriage, we slept in separate rooms for months. She had her own room, I had my own room. My first marriage, and that's horrible. Not speaking to each other. It's just like we're not even there. If the house is just quiet, okay?
Yeah,
it's
but what's
horrible.
better, not speaking, or I'm on the other end of the spectrum where we fought all the time. It was literally a screaming, curse out match, like throwing things, slapping, hitting. Like what's better? So there is both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's all toxic.
It's toxic.
Yeah.
But I choose peace.
Amen.
Because I'll tell you what, you can do bad all by yourself. Okay? So, marriage is what it's supposed to be. Everybody supposed to be sleeping in the same bed, loving each other, getting along.
Well, and friendships and all that, yes.
And friendships and everything like that. You ought to be on one accord. If you got friends, you got a good camaraderie of good friends, consider yourself blessed today.
Yes.
Okay? And
cheer for your friends when they're doing good.
Yeah. And
hold them when they need to be held.
And be happy for them, for their success. And if they got a celebration, you go over their house and take them something. Take them a card or something like that and let them know you're happy for them. Don't be a hater like we have so many people in the world that just hate. They don't want to see you make it. They don't want to see you thrive. They don't want to see you successful.
Yep.
So, like I said on the channel, in the meantime, between the time, life is to be enjoyed.
Yes.
And you can't enjoy life when you hang around with toxic people. Okay? And you know when they're toxic. You ain't no fool. God gave you senses. Use your senses. Sometimes you got to separate yourself from the foolishness to get to the peace that God has given you. So, till next time. Till next video. Peace.